Hello, everyone. This is Mike from Dimensional Walking. And today I want to discuss what happened on a few days ago on the hearing from Congress. It was interesting, but I guess I will have to say a bit disappointing. There really wasn't any super smoking gun type information, but there is something there that needs to be discussed. So I'm going to kind of go over. I took quite a few notes. I watched it live, so I'm not going to give you a blow by blow. You can go and get that on YouTube. You can get as far as the detail, the minute by minute. So I'm not going to be doing that, but I'm going to make some of my own comments, some of my own observations. I apologize if it's a little noisy. We're having a pretty good little rainstorm here in Oregon. And so I got some skylights above me that make a lot of noise when it rains. So please bear with me if you hear something that seems a little strange. That's rain or a little bit of a hail falling on us. Anyway, so it was, I thought it was kind of short. I was expecting it was going to last longer. Now I understand that this is the public part of the hearing that they allowed us to see on YouTube. And there was shortly thereafter there was this private behind closed doors meeting that we probably won't know what all went on there. But I would say this: I have a feeling there was some pretty heated discussions there about several things, only because some of the questions that the congressman asked, and they really didn't get straight answers. I think some of them looked quite frustrated. And I really thought that congressmen on both sides of the fence, both Republicans and Democrats, asked some really good questions. They got some answers, but the answers they got were pretty dancing type answers. They weren't, they always wanted to kind of direct it kind of away from the possibility that UFOs were, alien directed. As you know, I gave in the original video I did that I aired on the day before the hearing, I sent out some questions, or at least had you watch for answers to these particular questions, such as, were the UFOs or UAPs, as they call them, directed by could have been directed by something other than humans. Where was the origin? Was it outside of the possibility of being outside of the off Earth type direction and location, etc. There was a couple other ones I asked, but anyways, none of them were really directly answered. But it definitely looked like some of the congressmen definitely were probably believers as far as UFOs and aliens, just because of the questions they ask. One in particular, I thought Adam Schiff, I could tell that he was trying to lean in a little bit and see if he could get them to say something publicly that at least there was that possibility. Now they seem to want to say, well, we're going to look everywhere as for all sources of these UFOs, but they talked heavily in the area of, maybe it's from other countries, maybe it's drones. They talked about all that, and all true, because the vast majority of UFOs, UAPs, are explainable. Sometimes it takes a while to explain them, but there is a percentage, and I'm going to say it's 15% or more, percentage-wise, that are probably alien type craft. I feel pretty comfortable in saying that. I've done a lot of research over the years. Plus, I've talked to scientists and physics, and people that had to do with Star Wars, etc. So I'm pretty confident in what I heard from them that the percentage is not super high, but 15% is more than a couple percent, right? So, anyways, and then also there was something I haven't looked up yet, and maybe I'm gonna look it up and do a video on it. It's something called the Wilson memo that apparently is a pretty interesting memo. I think it was Mike Gallagher from Wisconsin, the representative, brought it up and and kind of asked the two witnesses witnesses or the people from the Pentagon, if they've heard of it, and it didn't seem like either one of them did. But he was pretty hot on this one, so I'm going to check it out. You may want to check it out too if you haven't already. It's called the Wilson Memo, and I'm not really sure what it's all about. It's some kind of disclosure that apparently was a fairly official memo that was circulating somewhere in and around the Pentagon at some point in the past. But anyways, this Mike Gallagher, he was pretty hot on the trail on this one. So anyways, I thought it was fascinating. I made a special note on that. Now that's the reason I mentioned it to you. Now, one of the things that the presenters, first of all, one of the presenters I just want to mention was Scott Bray. Scott Bray, I think, is the Undersecretary for Naval Intelligence, or some department thereof that basically is Naval Intelligence. Now, one of the things I want to mention about Naval Intelligence is that they have always been the tip of the spear as far as UFOs go. They go way back, and they've always been the ones that are always out front doing their thing. And kind of being right at the edge there and collecting a lot of information about UFOs and the aliens that are directing them. Of course, he didn't say that, but that's the truth. Okay, and the reason I say that I actually ran across in my studies, I ran across several people retired from Naval Intelligence that gave me a lot of little pieces, little dots that I could easily connect. And that's where it led to. So anyways, so he's Undersecretary. He was one of the people there, and the other gentleman, I'm sure I wrote his name down somewheres, but I don't have it here. And he was involved. He was directly involved with the group that's putting this little agency committee or whatever you want to call it. That's going to be looking and gathering all this data. Now, talking about the data for a minute, one of the big mistakes they made, and I'm sure a lot of you have picked up on it, was they made a statement that since Roswell and everything that was kind of around the Roswell incident, let's put it, to now, there really wasn't any studies or anything else in between, which is total bullshit, okay? Because there was a whole bunch of different things, government studies that collected data very similarly that they're going to do with this group, okay? So it's sort of like they're going to go ahead and do that wheel again. It's already been done several times, and they have some good data that was collected. And I know most of you know this, but some of these groups, and I made a list of some of the ones I could remember, and I know there's more. One was the Robinson panel between 1952 and 53. There was Project Grudge. There was Project, I think there was one called Project Condon. And there was Project Sign. There was Project Serpo. There was a Brookings Report. And that's just, there's more. There's more, and that's in the United States. Now, you got to remember that around the world, some of the major Western countries, especially China included, and Russia, and some other ones, had their own studies and collecting data, etc., for UFOs that were around their countries. But they didn't really quite mention anything of that in this hearing. They seem to say that nothing has really gone on since kind of maybe since 2004, from Roswell to 2004, because there was a little activity then later. But the point is they're making this like they're going to spend a lot of time collecting their data and looking at these supposed 400 or so recent sightings, etc., and try to figure out where they came from, what the deal was, are they a threat, all those good things, right? So, that was not, and even if they didn't honestly know, they should have known. Because these were important people. We spent a lot of money. We, the taxpayers, spent a lot of money on some of those projects. Okay? They weren't cheap. They were expensive projects. I'm sure they had a group of people, and they went out for a couple of years, collected data. They did a lot of stuff. And so for them to just kind of blow that off is ridiculous. So, anyways, that really disappointed me. I get the rest of it, but not acknowledging something that is fairly easy to find out. And you guys, you can find out yourself. Just Google past UFO studies or past UFO, groups, government studies, etc. So, anyways, that's that was kind of the most disappointing part for me personally. Um, there was another thing in there that one of the other senators, I'm sorry, these are congressmen. One of the other congressmen brought up Crawford. Um, Crawford was really, I don't want to say, he was really kind of pushing completely away from the possibility that these may be something other than human, which is fine. He can be skeptical. There's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. But he was really pushing hard. But what really disturbed me about what he had to say was he was like trying to get after people that were, talking about UFOs as being alien, and he called it disinformation. And what are we going to do? How are we going to hold them accountable? Now that was getting a little on the scary side, because there's a lot of us out there, a lot of believers out there, millions actually, but there's probably less than X number that actually go out and go on a video like I do. But there's many other ones that go on videos or talk about UFOs or speak in front of people, and give out our feelings about that they're real. I mean, I know they're real. I mean, they can do their dance all they damn well want, but they're real. They're as real as can be. I've seen them. I'm sure I've been abducted. I've seen plenty of UFOs. And I've told you guys all this if you follow us at all. But anyways, that got a little creepy. That was creepy. That he should start talking that way. That fake news and all the other stuff. Yeah, I get the fake news thing. There's plenty of that. But I never go out and I may have just told you there was UFOs, and I know there are. But the point is, I'm not preaching anything. I'm not here. I'm just here to share what I know, and you can take it or leave it. I don't care. It's no big deal to me. So, anyways, that was pretty disturbing. But there was one more thing I'm going to tell you. It was a little weird. This is a little weird sidebar. Okay. So if you look at the video, you look at the YouTube video, when Crawford is talking, right behind him, there's a guy that, Jesus, I have to be honest with you. I don't say this, as a bad thing, but he looked a little like a hybrid alien. Now, I've been, people have said I look like a hybrid alien too. And so I'm not, it's all right. It's all right. But boy, he just really struck me. Maybe it's one of these things it takes one to know one. I don't know. But if you get a chance to take a look at that, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just me. But anyways, nothing bad though. Nothing bad. Anyways, just something I had to mention because I kind of had to take a double, triple look at it, So let's see what else we got. That's pretty much it of the things that really struck me. They're going to go out and they're going to collect more data and information, and hopefully they're going to come back. Quite a few of those 400, I'm sure, were UFOs from some kind of an alien type direction. And they seem to be, they didn't bring up anything. Somebody didn't ask them a question about the nuclear power plants, that over all the years, there's been so many sightings over nuclear power plants, and that goes way back. I was a little, not that I was disappointed. I mean, they may have asked those questions behind closed doors. I don't know. But for some reason, there's feeling out there is some threat or something. I'm not too sure. I guess what I want to say finally is that, I was disappointed. I was disappointed they didn't at least go, and ask, not that the congressman didn't do a good job. I thought they did. I really did. But the guys that they were, there to answer the questions, I was expecting just a little bit more. just something else. But I believe that there is something going on, and I'm not really sure why, but I believe that there's going to be a drip. I will call it a drip of information coming forward from now on into the future. I think we'll get a little bit at a time. And I don't know why it's happening now, but I speculate it's possible that some other country or some other entity, some other group has threatened that they were going to maybe drop a large amount, a large bunch of information about UFOs and going to make possibly the Western countries, especially the U.S., embarrass them that they have not come forward with this information in the past. Because there's so much information out there, it's pretty amazing that it's been kept secret as long as it has, from way even before Roswell. So that's my feelings. Hopefully you've seen the video on YouTube, and I really like to see what you feel about it. See if you agree with some of the things I've said. If you do, comment here. If you like us, and if you want to send me a more private little bit communication through our email, it's dimensionalwalking@gmail.com. Appreciate it. We need your subscriptions, so please subscribe. I'm probably going to talk a little bit more about this going forward. But anyways, that's it. Anyways, we'll see ya. Bye-bye.